Well, welcome back to the Entrepreneur's Edge. I am so excited to have my guest with me today, Jennifer Reyes. She is an amazing person. It's so funny because we live actually not too far from each other and we have yet to meet in person. But you know how entrepreneurs are. We meet some of our besties online and we're just like, I love you. I love you back. And so I know that you're really going to love Jennifer's heart and her insight and what she has to share. Welcome, Jennifer, to the Entrepreneur's Edge. Please introduce yourself and let people know who you are, who you serve, and why you do what you do.
Yeah, thank you so much, Raquel, for having me here. I so appreciate you. And you're right. Like our paths, I think, may have crossed at a conference a long time ago, and then we got connected online, but we didn't really get to connect or know each other yet in person. But that's what we're here for, right? Is to get to know one another online. And then God has a way of bringing people together. So I'm a connector, first and foremost. I have to say that if you connect with me on social or whatnot, you'll know right out the gate, I'll be like, hey, who do you serve? How can I support you and send you some resources and get you connected? So, first and foremost, I'm a connector. Also, I am stepping into this and I'm owning this as a supernatural sales strategist. And you're going to hear a little bit more about that. But for the past 12 years, I've been doing non traditional sales and business coaching and serving coaches and service based entrepreneurs, creatives, across the board, right? In combining faith, life, and business. And my specialty really does lie in the sales side of things. So we work from a place of rest and not stress. We go at a pace with God's grace, and you learn how to do sales from the heart. Because if we don't have sales in our business, do we really truly have a business?
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Take us a little bit because you've been now season, this is really great because a lot of businesses don't even pass the 5 year mark. And so what really drew you into the space of being an entrepreneur? And tell us a little bit, just to prime the pump and give some juicy bits so they know what's coming up. Like, yes, we need to connect with her because now, we will see you as very successful. You've been doing this for 12 years. You have an amazing track record. And like you said, you're an amazing connector as well. So for those who are maybe not there yet, they're not even at the 5 year mark, or they're just about to hit over the 5 year, what can you share about your experience?
Yeah, even though I've actually been coaching since 2007, I didn't launch my business until 2013. And it took me 13 years, 13 years, Raquel, when the concept and idea hit me about coaching. And back then, everybody thought like coaching meant sports. You wanted to coach a sports team or whatnot. It was so new. I'm totally going to date myself, but back, when I graduated college and you know what, we don't need to say the year, do we? But in 99, I did copier sales and I did that really well for 6 years. I was in corporate. Then I left that and I went into the wholesale side of lending and then, the market tanked and blah, blah, blah. But then I got into the coaching space and I was involved in some other businesses in between and after that a little bit. But I was coaching for some pretty big name people in the industry, Robert Kiyosaki, Carlton Sheets, Covey. I was selling coaching, was coaching and being coached. But really, I was like swirling around with all the thoughts, all the imposter syndrome, thinking, oh, I'm too young. How could I really do this or that? All the excuses. Oh, I need to go get a certification. Then I got to go get this and I got to go do that. So again, 13 years where I was spinning around in circles. And I also fell into what I call content complacency, right? Where I'm like, oh, well, I got my coaching certification. Oh, I'm still coaching over here. But it really wasn't what, my heart's desire truly is, right? And what God had placed on my heart. But I didn't realize that until a couple of years before I launched Sales from the Heart and had a major transformative experience, where God just transformed my heart. I became born again and really stepped into my calling and my purpose.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And you have a very similar story as I do as well. It's just like all of it. It took a long time to get there, but then once you're there, it's just like, oh my gosh, just I know that I was meant for this and I was meant for more. And so I love this supernatural sales that you were talking about. You were giving me a teaser before we got on. I would love for you to share that with our audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So supernatural sales has been what's been behind the scenes all these years in my company, Sales from the Heart. But I just thought it was like the norm. I didn't realize it wasn't the norm for most people. It was the norm for me. So we show up in the natural, God brings his super, right? And this applies to everything, everything in our life and in our business. But, one of the things that was preventing me from talking about it publicly is like I was staying hidden. I just thought, okay, let me just do this one-on-one with my clients. And God was really clear in the past year to bring it forth. And when He said to bring it forth and invite people into this immersive experience, I was like, where do we begin with it? And then I realized we got to start at the foundation of that. Start at the foundation of what it's like to do business with God, but also being able to activate our senses in the natural, right? So taste, sound, hearing, right? Touch. I always forget the next one, but you know what I mean? The five senses. I probably raised those in order, but like all of the things, right? And so I go and take people through stories, examples, activations, declarations to dive into that. And you walk away with these little wins. And then the little wins add up to big wins. And for you, it might be actually a big win, right? And then we begin to apply some of the strategies after that in your sales. And let me just pause here and remind everybody that sales is also about, I break it down actually in a five-part acronym, but serving, right? Showing up, being your authentic self. So it's S-A. L, listening. And in order to listen, we have to ask powerful questions. E, engage, right? And the last S, well, I believe that it's, spirit-led, Holy Spirit-led. But for some of you, it might be standing for stubborn. Maybe you want to be your own little mini God like I did for so many years, trying to operate out of my own strength and putting everything on my own shoulders. But that's a hard, tough way to go. But hey, I'm not here to convince, convert, or condemn. You can show up as you are. We welcome everyone. And so really sales is about serving, but also receiving. And I can't tell you how many, business owners, coaches, entrepreneurs, creatives that I meet that really have a hard time. They're practically giving away their services for free, their time for free, and they're not able to receive.
Yes. Yeah. We could probably have a whole conversation around that part. And where do you see the themes around receiving? I know like when I grew up, it was just like, the whole thing, they use scripture and it gets twisted. It's better to give than it is to receive. Yes. But there's other parts of that. There's other scriptures. One of them being a promise that a workman is worth his hire. And so you should be expecting to be paid well, and work is a gift from God, which means that, well, if it's a gift from Him, He's going to make sure that you're well taken care of. If we look through how He takes care of everybody from beginning to end, they were always in abundance. They were always in more than enough. There was always this supernatural things happening, supernatural sales happening for them. And that gets lost in translation, trying to keep us humble, trying to keep us humble. And all it did was keep us broke. Are you seeing those kind of themes with your clients and the people that you engage with?
Yeah, absolutely. So sales, marketing, messaging can stir up some things from people and it begins to pile up. And while I can help address some of those things, and I'm very well versed in, working, gosh, when I served in a ministry for many years, working with gangbangers and up to missionaries and everything in between, right? But at the same time, I am not a counselor or therapist. So I will refer them out to someone, but I am trauma informed. I have an amazing client, Sharon Wegman of the Trauma Informed Ministry. I got certified, went through her course that opened up my mind to a bunch of other things. Even though I was aware of many, there were still other things within me too, right? That I was being triggered by as well, working with clients, and then they were being triggered as well. And so if there's a button there that's being pushed, hello, there's a button, right? And so we don't have to walk around with those things. But yes, I will help people move through that. Although most of the men and women that I serve, they're a bit more advanced, but I've got resources like yourself to send them to, because there's also, in addition to prayer, of course, right? We also have to bring in the science side of things too, right? God created all these wonderful, amazing things. And there's stuff, and I can definitely relate to this from childhood and growing up. And while my parents did the best that they knew how, right? They did with what they could do. There were still things that were very hurtful and traumatic for me that happened. And I love my parents dearly. I have forgiven them. I have asked for forgiveness, but there were things that leaked into my business. And so it's so important to work with people, yes, and allow also the work to be done for you in you, through you, all around you. My God. And it's the same thing in our sales that yes, you get to show up and it's being done for you, with you, through you, and all around you. That is supernatural sales, right? But you got to do your part and you have to raise your hand and say, hey, yeah, I've got a block here, or I've got a dream over here and let's go. But something is getting in the way. And that can absolutely happen when it comes to sales, marketing, messaging. It's actually very natural, but let's not stay parked there.
Oh, I love that so much. I love that so much. Yes. I know that you have this that you're working on. You're still working on it in the time of this recording for supernatural sales. Is that going to be a course? You said it's also like a submersive experience.
Immersive.
Is it going to be something people come in and they are like an event? Tell us a little bit more about that before we talk about what you host once a month.
Yeah, so God totally flipped this around on me in a good and amazing way. But I usually like will sell the thing first and then create it. And then he said, no, we're going to actually create it first and then we're going to sell it. But don't get me wrong, I still did some market research to see, are people even interested in this thing? So, with all fairness, I have a wait list starting and a beta group that I'm looking to invite people into and to give me some feedback for me to like gathering group discussion around this too. But it's a 5-part online virtual immersive experience where I'm going to walk you through some stories, some examples, and then you get to dive in for you because this isn't following my blueprint. This isn't following my formula. You have your own unique blueprint that God has just for you. Now, if you're like, wait a minute, Jennifer, I don't know. I don't know where I'm at in my relationship with God. This is still for you. Okay. This is still for you. You are welcome. Okay, because I can so relate to that. That's a whole nother podcast for a whole nother time on that journey that I had years ago. But you get to walk through this and 20 minutes or less, however you want to go through it. You can pace yourself once a week or once a day, or you can binge it if you want. And you're going to begin to activate and open up some things for you. Right. And so this is really where you get to totally immerse yourself into this. And it's evolving. How it's going to begin is probably not going to be as it goes, right? Because God is going to continue to add and we're going to share if they're open to sharing our stories. And when we do that, Raquel, you know this more than anyone, right? Like when we share these stories of what is even possible, why
Yes.
not for you? It's not just for me, right? And vice versa. It's for everyone. And so, yeah, I'm going to invite people into this, and yeah, we're just going to see where it goes and what God does here. And that's kind of how I do it. I just say yes, God, and then the steps are revealed from there, right? And if that's hard for you to embrace and to do, this is going to be actually absolutely wonderful for you as well to step into. But yeah, you're going to begin to unlock more than just sales in your business.
This is so exciting. It's so exciting. It's what you were speaking. I was just like, yeah, it was a recent thing that God had shown me as well. And so I was drawn to write the song "Yes Before You Speak." So I was like giving God our yes before He even says anything, and coming with that open heart to serve. I'm sorry about that. That's my reminder to eat, because I don't know if there's anybody else that happens to them, but I forget to eat, so I have to put alarms for everything.
That's so good. That's so good.
It's like it's almost time for you to eat. When was the last time you ate, Raquel? Because you know
Yeah.
how we entrepreneurs are. We get into the cycle. We're excited. We start doing things. You're like, wait a minute. It's Why am I cranky? Oh, it's been 8 hours since I've eaten something.
The reminders to eat, because number one, you're probably just so serving, in with Holy Spirit, and you're just like in that mode, right? And
Yeah,
that's probably why too. For me, it's getting up to take breaks to stretch. So yeah, that's
yeah.
good.
So tell us about also before we end. You also do something once a month with, and sometimes it's open to the public. I know I've been to these and they're amazing. So please share.
Yeah, so I have a private Facebook group that is exclusively right now just for active members of Unshakable Confidence Club. So this is a kind of like a hub, like I said, where some of my clients are in there that work with me one-on-one, some hybrid one-on-one and group, and some just in the group. But I believe in opening this up to the public every now and then. And so we have guest speakers in there. Usually the calls are anywhere from 90 minutes to 2 hours, sometimes a little bit longer. We just go with the flow of it all. And it's a great way to connect and meet others. Like I said, I'm a connector. So I provide a way for you all to exchange your information, get connected. And we have a teaching topic, a learning topic. We do private breakout rooms. And I know sometimes people are like, groups, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I get you on that. Okay. But my groups are solid and we get everybody engaging. And so, yeah, this is once a month. You can find that. If you go to salesfromtheheart.com, you can get on a wait list not only for the supernatural sales immersive experience, but then also you'll get invites for these Unshakable Confidence Club invites that are totally complimentary. You don't have to join the club. You don't have to work with me one on one in my Wings of Wisdom program or my Heart of Sales program. You can just show up.
Yeah, and they're amazing. And she is not kidding when she talks about like it's a lot of fun, very interesting people, and people who are just like you. Is there anything that you would like to share with the audience before we end the program for today?
Yeah, I just want to encourage you to really move at the pace that God is leading you and inviting you into. Don't feel pressure to compare. I don't know why I'm getting that so strongly here, but don't feel that pressure to compare. And please don't think that you're running out of time. Nothing is wasted in the kingdom. And that for so long, when I had waited to get into my business or thought I had to do this or that, and then I did, I all of a sudden was go, 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 go. And you can really burn out. You can have health issues. I had my own share of health issues for 3 years, right? But nothing is wasted and things can be done on your behalf, for you, with you, through you, and all around you. And that's supernatural sales. There's so much to it. And I so invite you to come connect, join us, and please share with Raquel, share with myself what's inspired you out of our conversation today.
That is a wonderful way to end it. I love this conversation. Yes, I will be having you back so we can unpack some of the other things that you said. So thank you everyone for being with us today on the Entrepreneur's Edge. Until next time, may God's riches and best be yours. Bye for now.